Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
What is up, you guys? Welcome into the stream as the New York Mets get ready to take on the St. Louis Cardinals. Your first place New York Mets sitting at 13-7, a game up on the Philadelphia Phillies in the National League East. Winners of 2 straight here to open this 4-game set with the Cardinals, a 7-game homestand. Things have been going great since the Mets have returned to Citi Field. They got that bad taste out of their mouth from that series against the Twins, and things are rolling in Queens. Cap, of course, by who else but Francisco Lindor's walk-off blast into the Queens night yesterday. It was a great game, a back-and-forth affair, so much fun, and hopefully now the Mets today looking to take their 3rd straight win against the Cardinals. So we're going to get into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. I'm Tony Metro. I do daily streams. It's either pregame, sometimes postgame, sometimes both. Today we're going to do both and all the latest updates on the New York Mets as they march to October. Hopefully a very deep march into October. So let's get into it. Let's get all of our assets up here. And guys, be sure to leave this video a like too. I mean, come on, help me out here, right? What are we doing? It's going to be a good one today. The Mets taking on the Cardinals. They are now 9-11. The Mets, like I said, are 13-7. And it's a matchup of Kodai Senga versus Matthew Liberatore. So let's start with Matthew Liberatore. 3.93 ERA in 2025 over 3 starts. He's entering his 4th year here in the big leagues. He has 1 career start against the Mets, but he also has 2 relief appearances. Not great numbers against the Mets, I can't lie. In that time, 8 earned runs over 9 total innings. In fact, last year in April, he gave up the game-winning walk-off home run to Mark Vientos in the 11th inning. And if you remember, actually, that was the game that immediately after he hit that home run, Vientos was sent back down to the minor leagues for J.D. Martinez, which, of course, made a lot of Mets fans really upset. But the good news is he's in the lineup today. And the even better news is Mark Vientos is starting to get hot. Home runs in back-to-back games to open this series with the Cardinals. So let's get into the Mets lineup now. Pretty standard as you would expect against a left-hander. They're going to be wearing their City Connect jerseys, which you got to love, right? So Francisco Lindor, of course, last night's hero at the top of the order. After that, we got Juan Soto. Nice to see him get that standing ovation and a base knock to tie the game up yesterday. Hopefully he's coming out of it and starting to get things going. After that, of course, Pete Alonso, and then the aforementioned Mark Vientos hitting cleanup in this one. Starling Marte back in there. We have not seen him in this series so far. It's been a bit of a struggle for Starling Marte so far. He's hitting under the Mendoza line at this point, so hopefully he can start turning things around. They definitely need some production out of outfielders not named Juan Soto, who, again, even he's struggling himself. After that, Brandon Nimmo's in there, who, again, has also been kind of struggling. Luis Torrens. We thought he was going to be the hero. How many big hits has Luis Torrens had for the Mets in the early going? I mean, where would they be without him? He had that go-ahead double in the 8th inning. Of course, squandered when Huascar Brosban gave up the leadoff home run in the top of the 9th, but no harm, no foul, as the Mets end up winning anyway. But nice to see Torrens in there. More on him later as I give you updates on some injured Mets that may be returning soon. Rounding it out, Luis Angel Acuna getting in there. The start against the lefty. Love to see that. Obviously, not a brilliant play by him. He actually beat the play running to third in front of Nolan Arenado had he not overslid the bag. So I like the aggression. I mean, there's just not a lot of dynamic baseball players like that around the league anymore. Super fun to see. And, you know, if he can just bottle it up and put it into the right moments, I really do believe Luis Angel Acuna could be a solid player. And then Jose Azocar getting his first start with the New York Mets out in center field. So that'll be fun to watch. Azocar is non-prospect. Let's be honest, he's a warm body at this point, but the Mets are going to need him while Jose Siri is on the injured list for an extended period of time. So we'll see how that all goes. And then taking a look at the Mets man on the mound, and that is Kodai Senga, who has been fantastic to begin this year. Over his first 3 starts, a minuscule 1.06 ERA last time out, coming off his best performance of the season. That was actually all the way back last Sunday, almost a full week ago against the Athletics. 7 innings of shutout ball. That's now 12 consecutive scoreless innings for Senga, going back to his previous start against the Marlins at Citi Field. For his career against the St. Louis Cardinals, 2 starts, a 3.29 ERA, over 13 2/3 innings pitched. And here's how the Cardinals lineup stacks up today for Kodai Senga. And if I could get this one out of here, there we go. By the way, I got to just say, the Mets graphic design team and social media team deserves a raise, because whatever this is for the Cardinals, like, come on, this ain't it. This ain't very good. Like, the Mets one looks way sicker. I could actually read the names off of the Mets one. Like, they wanted to make this like size 1.5 font. I mean, I'm not that old. I should be able to read the font on that. They did not do a good job there. Anyway, I'm nitpicking here. So Cardinals lineup is pretty much what we've seen the rest of this series so far. Lars Nootbaar at the top. Wilson Contreras, who the Mets have held in check for the most part. After that, Brendan Donovan. They have not held him in check. Obviously, the game-tying homer in the 9th yesterday. And then we got Nolan Arenado, always a threat to kill the Mets. He's done it his whole career. Alex Burleson actually has some pretty decent numbers against the Mets in the past. Thomas Sagase, Nolan Gorman hitting 7th, Yoel Poso, and then Victor Scott the 2nd, rounding things out for the Birds. And you know what's really impressive to me so far, 2 games into this 4-game set with the Cardinals, is that the Mets pitching staff has just been fantastic. I mean, you know, we know this. We know they have the top ERA in Major League Baseball this year, but the Cardinals entered this series with the 3rd most amount of runs scored in the entire league at 93, and they've been held in check. I mean, they scored 1 on Thursday. They scored 4 yesterday. I mean, the Mets pitching staff is just, you can't say enough good things about them. It has been so amazing to watch, whether it's the starters or the bullpen picking up the starters for not going late into games. And I think we're going to get another good performance out of Kodai Senga today. And the Mets hopefully taking the first 3 of this series and hopefully looking at a potential sweep tomorrow on Sunday. So really excited for this game, but we still got a little bit more to do. Don't go anywhere yet. Leave a comment, guys. What do you think? How do you feel about today's chances for the Mets? Are they going to take the first 3 of this series? Do you think they're going to have a chance for the sweep tomorrow? Or is it going to be the dreaded win the first 2 of the 4-game set and then drop the final 2? Please, knocking on wood, don't let that be the case. That would be all the air going out of the balloon after such good feelings from the past 2 nights. So we'll see what happens. But let's get into what Carlos Mendoza had to say about the injury front here today, and specifically about Francisco Alvarez. Alvarez, of course, we know had to get surgery on that hamate bone and has been out from the beginning of the season and has been steadily progressing in his rehab assignment. He's been with Binghamton AA for the past week or so, and he's been hitting well enough and progressing to the point that yesterday he caught a full 9 innings and is scheduled to pitch another full 9 innings here today. Carlos Mendoza was asked this morning about his progression and what other steps would be necessary for him to come back and return to the Mets lineup. Here's what he had to say about that.
Alvarez, just what's left for him to accomplish before?
Yeah, I think so. Scheduled to catch 9 innings today. Maybe he'll DH tomorrow, and then as far as like from the medical staff, he's gonna be clear. So it's now, do you need more at bats just to get your timing right, or are you ready to come up and start playing big league games? So I think after he plays today, he caught 9 innings last night. After he plays today, I think maybe DH tomorrow. And then after that, knock on wood, you know, from medical standpoint, he's going to be clear.
Okay, so I guess Mendoza likes to talk about knocking on wood just like me. We got something in common at least. Yeah, so this is really interesting. I mean, obviously with how good Luis Torrens has been, because as much as we want Francisco Alvarez back, as great of a prospect as I still believe he is and could be a 30 home run bat, Luis Torrens has been a lifesaver for this team. I'm watching it right now on the pregame show, that big double yesterday. He's hitting 255 on the season, a 733 OPS, and has been fantastic defensively. So I think the best case scenario is you get Alvarez back and you just kind of let him work his way back in very slowly without over rushing him, making him do too much catching, letting him get his timing back. He did mention in that presser right there that there is an opportunity where he may stay in the minors a bit longer to get some more at-bats and get the timing right down in the minor league. So we'll see how that all works out. But the great news, something that I don't think Mets fans have been able to say for a long time, is that the catcher position is very healthy in this organization. And quick shout out to Hayden Sanger, by the way, who has filled in admirably, I'll even say beyond admirably, as the backstop so far in Alvarez's absence. So love to see that. But Alvarez is not the only one potentially on the mend, as we also got an update on Jeff McNeil. He similarly, like Francisco Alvarez, is in AA Binghamton taking reps, actually all over the field, even in center field in the wake of the Jose Siri injury news. We know McNeil's pretty versatile, can play left, right, now trying to learn a little bit of center field. We don't know what we're going to get with this bat anymore. I think that's fair to say after the past 2 years with Jeff, but would be great to get him back. Now, here's the problem. There won't be a roster spot for him without moving someone off this bench down to the minor leagues. And of course, we know it's going to be either Luis Angel Acuna or Brett Beatty. The issue with that, both of them have started to turn it on and perform pretty well over the last 7 games. Both of them hitting over 350 over the last 7, now 8 games if you include last night. A couple more knocks for Beatty. Of course, a little bit of a sour taste in our mouth after Luis Angel Acuna was tagged out trying to advance to third last night. But like I said, no harm, no foul, as the Mets ended up taking that win. Aggressive play. Nonetheless, it's going to be a tough decision for the Mets to make, and there's a few things that we'll get into, but first, let's hear what Mendoza had to say about that.
Possibility that McNeil could be ready to come back maybe by the Philly series on Monday?
We'll see. He's scheduled to play today and tomorrow, back to back, and then we'll see where we at, after that. Yeah.
And then when he does come back, is there a scenario where perhaps Beatty and Acuna can stay on the team?
We'll see. I mean, we'll make that decision when we get there. We're still a few days away. And, the good thing is if we are having this discussion, it's a good thing. That means Beatty continues to play well. That means Acuna continues to play well. And they're making that decision very tough on us. That's what we want. So hopefully that's the case, a few days from now where we got to get in that room and make a difficult decision. But they're both earning playing time, and they both proven they're big league players.
Yeah, I mean, couldn't have said it any better myself. That proved making it a tougher decision obviously means you have 2 really good players performing at the same time. Couple thoughts on this. First of all, with the injury to Jose Siri, it really changes the dynamic of this team. Obviously, Tyrone Taylor is still here. He's going to get the majority of reps in center field, but it does open the avenue for another outfielder. We've yet to see Jesse Winker play the field. I don't believe we've seen Starling Marte, but even if we do, it's only going to be in right field. And Brandon Nimmo, other than maybe an inning here or there like the other night, really does not have the range to be a center fielder anymore at this point in his career. So after Taylor, who's the next backup center fielder? Today, we know Jose Azocar is in the lineup. He's going to get a shot here, but we pretty much know who this guy is. He's a quadruple A kind of journeyman player. If he hits, great. We'll take it, but the expectations are not super high. Meanwhile, Luis Angel Acuna has a vast amount of experience playing center field in the minors. So that definitely behooves him in this race as far as who will stick around when Jeff McNeil does eventually return. He wasn't very committed to McNeil coming back on Monday like that reporter asked against the Phillies. I think that might be a little soon. In fact, they said, unlike Alvarez, who will likely just immediately ascend to the bigs after his time in AA Binghamton, they're expecting Jeff McNeil to probably go to a higher level of the minor leagues. And I would guess that means AAA Syracuse, because that's the only level above that and before the bigs, to get some more reps. And I don't know if that's because they want McNeil to see a higher level of pitching to kind of get his bat right, or if it's more about seeing Luis Angel Acuna and Brett Beatty for a little extended period of time. Both of them getting off to those slow starts, but both of them starting to hit their stride at the exact same time. So that could be the case as well. But it'll be really interesting to see how it all works out. Kodai Senga about to take the mound here for the New York Mets as they look for their third straight win against the Cardinals. What do you guys think? Do you think they're going to get the dub today and get the sweep on Sunday? How do you feel about Francisco Alvarez coming back as soon as tomorrow? And what do you think about the whole Jeff McNeil roster situation? Leave a comment in the section below and tune in later when we do our post-game stream after Mets and Cardinals this afternoon. That's it for now. I'm Tony Metro. Stay true to the orange and blue.